Inside the heart of Mexico City, the historic Arena México was glowing with blinding lights, deafening chants, and the thunder of drums. The crowd swayed with excitement, waving flags of red, green, and white. Vendors shouted out, selling tacos, soda, and glowing masks. It was not just a wrestling event, it was a carnival, a battlefield, and a sacred temple of Lucha Libre all rolled into one. Tonight, the arena belonged to the king of Mexican wrestling, Jack Savage. Wearing a shimmering gold and black mask designed with roaring lion fangs, his muscular frame glistened under the hot spotlights. At 32, standing tall and broad-shouldered, he was everything the crowd adored. Powerful, ruthless, flamboyant. He had just destroyed his rival with a spectacular spinning powerbomb, standing tall on the turnbuckle as the audience roared his name. Savage! 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 The arena vibrated with chants. Jack Savage raised both arms, demanding more noise. He thrived on their adoration, his pride swelling with every stomp of the bleachers. Then, snatching the microphone from the referee, he began his usual boastful speech. No man in Mexico, no man in America, no man in the world can defeat me. His voice boomed, echoing across the rafters. I am the lion of this ring, the king of Lucha Libre, the beast no one can cage. Legends come and legends fall. But Jack Savage stands forever. The crowd erupted with cheers, some fans showering him with roses, others tossing confetti and streamers. But then, Savage's eyes caught something in the VIP row. His voice grew sharper, cockier, and yet, he smirked, pointing his finger toward the front. We have a guest tonight, a Hollywood star, an action hero, Jason Statham. The camera panned, and the spotlight followed. Sitting in the VIP seats, dressed in a black leather jacket over a simple gray t-shirt, Jason Statham leaned back with arms folded. His bald head reflected the glow, and his steel gray eyes pierced through the arena. The crowd erupted, some chanting his name, others booing loudly, as if Savage's pride had become their own. Look at him, Savage roared, pacing in the ring. Hollywood stars wear masks, 2 masks to hide their fear. You fight on screen, Jason. But this is real. The crowd gasped. Some laughed nervously, others shouted for blood. Jason, however, did not move. His jaw clenched, his expression unshaken. He simply stared, his gaze so cold and sharp that it cut through the noise. Slowly, Jason stood up. The arena fell silent. Thousands of fans held their breath as Jason walked down the aisle with calm, steady steps. His boots echoed on the floor. Security guards looked unsure, torn between stopping him and letting the moment play out. Jason climbed into the ring, standing face to face with Jack Savage. The height difference wasn't much, but the aura was worlds apart. Savage puffed out his chest, flexing his muscles, while Jason stood in silence, eyes locked like a predator, before striking. The crowd roared again, sensing history. You think you're untouchable? Jason finally spoke, his British accent cutting through the tension like a blade. Let's see how you do when the cameras aren't rolling. The crowd went wild. Savage tried to shove Jason back, but in one lightning-fast motion, Jason grabbed his wrist, twisted, and dropped him to the mat with a judo-style arm throw. The audience erupted into chaos, gasps, cheers, screams. Savage scrambled back to his feet, furious, his pride wounded. This is my ring, he shouted, charging like a bull. Jason sidestepped, sweeping his leg and sending the arrogant champion crashing again. The sound of his body hitting the mat echoed like thunder. The referee, unsure if this was staged or real, tried to interfere, but the crowd chanted louder than ever. Pelea, Pelea, Pelea. Fight, fight, fight. Now Jack Savage, humiliated, ripped off his entrance cape and signaled to the crowd that this was no stunt. He waved to the timekeeper, demanding a real match. The bell rang, ding, ding, and the crowd exploded. The fight began. Savage charged again, swinging heavy punches, but Jason blocked with sharp, compact movements. A jab to the ribs, a sharp elbow to the chest. Jason's strikes landed with surgical precision. Savage retaliated with brute force, slamming Jason into the turnbuckle, raining fists down like hammers. The crowd roared as Jason absorbed the punishment, his teeth gritted, his eyes unblinking. But then came the counter. Jason ducked a wild hook, lifted Savage by the waist, and slammed him down with a brutal suplex. The ring shook. Fans leapt from their seats. Jason followed with a flurry of punches, each one faster, harder, more controlled than the last. Savage staggered, his mask torn at the edges, sweat pouring down his chest. He tried one final desperate move, climbing the ropes for his finishing splash. He roared, leaping like a golden lion through the air. The crowd screamed, but Jason rolled aside, springing up instantly. In a single, fluid motion, he caught Savage as he landed, lifted him into the air, and dropped him with a thunderous spinebuster. The champion's body bounced against the canvas, motionless. The referee counted. Uno, dos, tres. The bell rang. The arena exploded into chaos. Half the fans screamed in disbelief. Others roared in triumph. Jason Statham had just defeated the unbeatable Jack Savage in the very heart of Mexico's wrestling temple. Jason stood tall, chest heaving, sweat dripping down his face. He didn't raise his arms, didn't gloat. He simply looked down at the fallen champion and said, low enough for the microphones to catch, "You wanted real. This is real." The crowd erupted into chants of, "Jason, Jason, Jason," while others desperately tried to revive their hero's pride with chants of, "Savage, Savage." The sound became a storm of voices, clashing like thunder inside the historic arena. As Jason walked out of the ring, his boots echoing against the ramp, cameras followed him into the shadows of the backstage tunnel. Behind him, Jack Savage lay broken, his golden mask ripped, his pride shattered. That night, Arena Mexico witnessed something unforgettable. It was no longer just the temple of Lucha Libre. It was the place where Hollywood action and Mexican wrestling collided. And in the middle of it all, Jason Statham proved once again that legends don't need masks, because real warriors let their fists do the talking.